The last 3 bouts of my Somerset Open tournament. This gentleman was an MMA fighter, so we start off by matching levels and palm wrestling. He's a bit more experienced, I can tell by his body language. I'm looking to get the wizard once again, my left arm over the top of his right to establish that overhook. He does a good job of nullifying it. Now here he manages to wrap his arm around me, and in a moment he's going to establish the body lock, as you can see. Now, what this is going to do is going to nullify my whizzer attempt, so I can't get the leverage that I need in order to establish the takedown. He tries to wrap my leg and establish his own takedown, but I'm savvy to it, and I managed to keep my balance. He disengages. Here I start posting on his head, trying to get certain reactions. Fake a shoot in order to get that whizzer. I nearly do, but not quite. As he's pulling me down, my instinct is going to be to posture up. Good tactic off of this is to attack the legs as your opponent postures up, which he does. He grabs my leg, but during that, he gives me the space for the whizzer, which I managed to get. Now I've got the whizzer and leg reap. I can tip him over. All I have to do then is clear the posting knee. Driving against this plane of balance, this is going to result in a really tasty takedown. Now, what my opponent does is he manages to keep his frames and flip me over.
Nice, Harrison. Nice.
As he comes up, he's got hold of a leg, nice sort of double leg position. He's going to look to drive up and around in a nice arcing motion. Again, I'm savvy to this. I've done it a million times. So all I've got to do is just keep my balance. And once again, we're standing. Nice little dance back to the center. Let him know I'm experienced. More palm wrestling. There you go. Managed to get the whizzer, the overhook. However, he's managed to get the body lock. Now, as he's got the body lock, he leg trips me, and he sinks his weight to that same side, resulting in a takedown. I managed to flip it over just at the last second.
Heavy.
And here we're just going to work. He manages to get his full guard, both his legs around my body. We get reset to the middle. Very nice reffing there. Yeah, as I said, he's an MMA fighter. He's not too experienced with grappling. So the reset wasn't something he was used to.
Posture and work your passing. Posture and work your passing.
Now here he attempts a triangle. His mistake is it's not quite linked up. So what I can do is use my shoulder as an extra limb and shuck him off to my right hand side and move around to the side of his legs. There we go. Bit of a scramble here. I tried to get reverse knee on belly. Shoot for the Kimura, but he manages to get his guard back. Very nice work by him. Once again, when I posture up, he attempts for the triangle. It doesn't quite work, and again, I just shuck him off with my shoulder. This time, I managed to consolidate with the top mount. Now you can see his strength demonstrated here. He explodes up,
Work your way up, Harrison.
gets his frames back. Now, stupidly, I let him up. I don't know why, but I let him up. I think it was sparring mindset or something. And as he's pulling me down, I drive into him, and he uses the opportunity to sink in a guillotine attempt. Now, I managed to body lock him, and I'm going to treat it like a takedown. So I managed to get him to the ground first. As I'm posturing my head up, this will also nullify any choke attempt. Now, this is a dangerous choke attempt. I am in danger.
Go left.
Make no mistake. So I sink my back to the floor. Block his hips. And then I come back over, which will nullify the choke attempt.
Into him. There we go, Harrison. Crossface.
Listen to my corner and establish the crossface. Now I'm very tired at the moment, and so's he. So I managed to find his floating rib against my body and just sink all my weight into that floating rib to try and disrupt his breathing as much as possible. Just make it uncomfortable for him. As he explodes up, I have space. Step my knee round, get knee on belly. A classic thing that opponents do when you get knee on belly is they attempt to push it off. Opens them up for the Kimura, and I managed to finish it off. Moving on to the next bout. This was for the gold. Now my mindset going into this was I was going to tap my opponent, do or die. Trained to be a stuntman, I need 9 medals. As my opponent lifts my arm up, I'm not preoccupied with what's going down, and he managed to shoot under and change levels. I reckon due to my narrow stance and his wide one, if that had been a double leg, he very well could have got me down. We spin. I managed to get out of it. Again, trying to establish that overhook
Lower,
whizzer.
Harrison, lower.
Here, I fake a shoot. I managed to get the overhook. Now, he thinks he's in a dominant position, so he wraps my leg. But the thing is because my arm is in his armpit, I'm blocking him from getting around behind me. And being I got his leg now, because he thought he had mine when actually I have his, I can now do the whizzer and leg reap. And once again, this is going to off-balance my opponent. And all I'd have to do is clear the posting knee whilst driving against their plane of balance. Boom. There we go. Takedown.
On top, on top, on top.
Now from here, it's just work. Try and step over his limbs, get around his arms and legs.
Heavy, Harrison, heavy.
Lifting my hips up and driving the weight back down into him to make myself heavier. Now here I take a page out of Khabib's book and I wrap his legs, making him work even more. Managed to get round to side control and we get a reset. I don't agree with this reset. He resets us standing, but my opponent looked quite confident in his guard there on the floor. So it might have been for the best. We restart. Once again, I lower my level too much and my opponent manages to get that guillotine attempt. This will be like the third or fourth time it happens. So all I do is grab hold of the hands, sink my weight down, whilst also driving my head up. And that's in order to fight the choke.
Head up, head up, head up.
Now he pulls guard in order to try and finish it off. I'm in some serious danger now. So I sink my back to the floor. Rolling around.
Sweep, other side, Harrison.
He gives up on the guillotine attempt. I'm stacking his guard at the moment. And being as his guard's open in a moment, I'm going to try swim both my arms under and swim through.
His guard's open, Harrison. His guard's open. His guard's open, Harrison.
But I give up on that for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Again, a failed triangle attempt. I shuck him off to the side. Get reverse knee on belly. I managed to switch to standard knee on belly. And again, that gives me the Kimura attempt when they tried to fight that. Here my opponent sees it coming. So he starts to move with the attack. But I stay glued to him and move with him as well.
Up and over. Kimura, Kimura. There we go.
I was a bit excited there for the win. Trained to be a stuntman, I need 9 medals. And this medal got me 1 medal closer to my dream job. So yeah, I'm happy. Here we go, open weight bout. I'm not matching the level of my opponent, which I should be. He's much bigger than me, as you can see. 100 kg versus 70 kg. Snaps me down once again into the guillotine attempt. But as he wraps my leg, I can feel that he's off balanced. I've also got hold of his leg. So I decide to drive against his plane of balance in a nice arcing motion, which is going to result in a takedown for myself. Now here it's just swinging around and spinning in order to get into the top. Now this guy's a lot stronger than I am.
Stay on top,
a lot stronger. Now I managed to get my hook in and take his back. But as you can see, he's got hold of my hand. And when I say he's got hold of it, he has hold of it. He's got them big manual labour bricklaying hands.
Seatbelt, Harrison,
and
seatbelt.
Just couldn't get him off. He had hold of me.
Maintain, Harrison.
I'm rolling around. If I'm honest, I don't really like taking the back. I'm not very good at sinking in rear naked chokes. I'd prefer to go for an armbar from the back. But it's not really a situation that I'm too confident in. And I'm trying to flatten him out. My corner is shouting at me to flatten him out as well. But it is hard. He's a strong dude, way stronger than I am. So I have to be smart. Now I managed to get inside wrist control here. Again, like Khabib. And I'm just trying to flatten him out, but it's difficult. Now I tip over the top, sort of have an armbar triangle sort of thing, but he's sinking all his weight on me, so it's so hard to finish off. And here I end up in guard. Now he gives me a bit too much space here, so I take the opportunity to shoot for a double leg,
Stand up,
which I managed to finish. Now he's got a guillotine attempt on, but once again, when I'm at the side angle here, he hasn't got his legs wrapped around me. He hasn't quite got the leverage he needs to finish it off. I am in danger. You see my nice wide base at the moment. That makes me a lot heavier and a lot harder to flip. Now, stupidly, I narrow my base a significant amount here in order to get the knee on belly. It's like my standard attack, the knee on belly. But stupidly, being as I narrowed my base so much, it makes me a lot easier to tip over. And being as I'm going against someone that's a lot stronger, the small opportunities become a lot bigger. And as you're going to see, he very easily, because he's got control of my head as well, he very easily flips me over. Takes my back. Now in a bad pitch situation. Bigger, stronger guy on top. I'm trying to arm trap him and flip him. It's just not quite working. I should be putting my hands on his hips and shrimping out. It's an uncomfortable situation. I end up giving my back in order to try and find space. And he sinks in an arm bar. Now I'm holding onto my arm. I should be running my legs around to the left-hand side in order to escape. But I'm turning into him instead, trying to hook my head over. I even end up helping him. And he finishes it. This bout was a really big lesson for me about the power of belief. I went in not thinking I was going to be able to do anything. That I was just going to get smoked by a bigger, stronger dude. And it turned out actually I was really shocked by my own performance, of how strong I was and how quick I was, and my skill and wits as well. And I think if I'd gone in knowing that, more confident, I could have won. But it is what it is. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to take what I can from it and learn from it. Big props to my opponent. That was a really great match, and I had a really great day with my team.